Good day. I did a video recently on maternal forgiveness versus paternal forgiveness. And the maternal forgiveness is love thy enemy. That can be misinterpreted as be passive all the time. And I see a lot of that passive spirituality being passed around nowadays. And this passive spirituality allows for the darkness to come in and take hold. And that's why I believe we'll see more passive religion and spirituality be spread around the internet in the controlled vision or the television to keep people passive so that nobody stands up. And, then there's the paternal forgiveness where the only way we're going to allow darkness to still be a part of our lives is if they become the light. Or at least be willing to admit when they're in the darkness and be able to work towards that light. And I'll read a little Bible quote here, and it's Luke 17:3 and 4. Take heed to yourself. If thy brother trespasses against thee, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. And if he trespasses against thee 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day turns again to thee, saying, I repent, thou shalt forgive him. Right? And to rebuke somebody is to call him or her out on the trespass. Be assertive. That's what that means. And you can continue to have actionable love, and you can continue to have them in your life as long as every time that we do something dark to each other or we trespass against each other, we're willing to admit to our trespasses and repent. You can forgive them, they know not what they do, but it does not say forgive a unrepentant person. So that's why I say there's 2 different kind of forgiveness. It's best for ourselves that we can forgive for they know not what they do, because that helps us get rid of resentment. And it helps us love our enemy. And helps us really believe that the enemy is actually a victim most of the time. I mean, there is the tarantulas that are conscious of their darkness. However, there's very few of them. We have to know a lot of the people in our lives that can't repent is because they can't admit to any of the stuff that they're going through. And I've talked about my family and how they will not talk about anything that happened a few years ago, about any of that truth. And the Bible tells us about this. The Bible tells us that the devil will attack us right in our own home. Here's Matthew 10:21. Brothers and sisters will betray one another and have each other put to death. Parents will betray their own children, and children will turn against their parents and have them killed. Everyone will hate you because of me. But if you remain faithful until the end, you will be saved. When people mistreat you in one town, hurry to another one. I promise you, before you have gone to all the towns of Israel, the Son of Man will come. A lot of people are like, kill you. That sounds like nobody's killing each other. Well, that's not true. The whole point of ego death is a part of us dies and we are reborn. It's born again Christian is the same idea, is that you're new again. That means a part of you had to die, right? And if a person like myself, which is trying to live out the archetype of Michael, which is the exorcist, which is killing off that demon out of people. They're possessed by an ideology, or they're possessed by sex, or if they're possessed by this, is somebody that speaks the truth to them, that tries to kill that part of them. right? And that's a part of them that should die. However, in that fight, you're going to have them try to kill you. And that's what happened with my brother. Is I came in and I was shining light around him. He started to see his own darkness, shadow projection, flips, and he actually called mental health on me and had them inject me, which actually killed my soul for like 6 to 8 months. So people have to know is things, there's as above and so below, right? Well, there's this physical realm, right? But then there is what we are made up of. There's consciousness, right? And if you look at books of like Book of Enoch, they talk about the judgment above as below, right? Within and without. And so a lot of people will not understand these metaphors. Or they don't even understand as above, so below, because they don't experience the spirit. And a lot of times we have to love them from afar because we know that they can't hear you anymore. They can't hear us anymore. We're not speaking the same language. And to be honest, a lot of us that are in these positions, I believe we haven't been speaking the right language for most of our lives. And that's why people have pathologized us for so long. I've always felt misunderstood. You know, they said I needed to go into strategies. They drove me all the way across town in the mental handicap bus so I could go to this strategies class because I didn't learn how everyone else learns. Well, I'm not a person that learns. I'm a person that remembers. And that means I have to go in and do it my own way. And to be honest, they never really understood me. Now that I've started to really understand that this is a power that God has given me rather than a pathology, I've started to run into people that understand me or speaking the same language as I am. And it's magical. And, you know, there was a time when, because there's a saying, you know, if everybody else is the asshole, then maybe who's the common denominator and who maybe is the real asshole? And I really would take that thing to heart now because I was being pathologized and I was being told, you know, you need to have a filter, you need to not say things, and all this stuff telling me my masculinity is bad, all this stuff against what I am. So I started to believe that stuff. I actually learned a lot about psychology trying to find out what the hell was wrong with me. And yeah, as I was speaking, I was honing in the ability to speak. And you're going to miss the mark when you start. And I believe that if you edit what you speak before you speak it, you're not speaking from the logos. You're not speaking from the flow. And if you're editing what you're saying, then there's going to be some truths that are taken out. So I realize is God has left heirs of salvation on the earth. And there is a lot of you out there. It doesn't take much for us to change things. Most of everybody else is just sitting waiting for somebody to guide them towards something better. They aren't even involved in this spiritual war. And a lot of people will call them filler people or like, you know, extras like in a movie. And I actually do believe in sort of that. There is, if you don't make any choices for yourself, then you start to be just an extra. You're just a cog in a machine rather than an individual. So a lot of people are like, when is everyone going to wake up? I'm telling you, you don't need many people to wake up. And these people that are just waiting for somebody to lead them somewhere better, and we're going to do that. It's not going to take many of us. It's 0.1% of warriors is all we need. And maybe we only need 10% awakened people to stand behind us. I really believe that. So a lot of people will not be able to wake. It's not their lifetime. You know, a lot of people don't know if they believe in reincarnation. Well, I've seen very young people that are very wise. And I see that as they've been here before a few times, you know. And I think a lot of people that are the heirs of salvation for this apocalyptic time, are way more powerful than you think, and this is a destiny that people are walking, and I'm coming together with these people. I can feel us coming together. I can feel the power that we have, even just the few that we are together now. And we're connected to all the other light. That's what we have. I don't give the devil that much credit that he can connect to the collective consciousness and bring in the intelligence like the people in the light can. We are connected to each other. We're feeling where this is going. We're transmitting what we learn to each other, and we are lifting up the collective consciousness. The people that are shut off from it, they are not bringing it in. A lot of people will not awake, and we just have to stop wondering why something's going to happen. Just trust. Get into your center. Get away from that fear. Don't look at the fact that it seems like nobody's awakening. No, there's enough people awakening, and there's things happening. And as you get out of your fear, God will tell you how to help. And God will tell you the people that are a part of this. And there's just a little, last little Bible quote that I think can give people power to stay in their truth. And even if people don't seem to be understanding you, and they're saying that you don't know what you're talking about, or you're crazy and all this stuff, drown that stuff out. That's low energy, low vibration. That's people not admitting that they don't understand, and so they'd rather say it's you. So this is Luke 12. Don't be afraid of anyone. Everything is hidden will be found out, and every secret will be known. Whatever I say to you in the dark, you must tell in the light, and you must announce from the housetop whatever I have whispered to you. Don't be afraid of people. They can kill you, but they cannot harm your soul. I'll touch on one last thing here. He talks about all the things I speak to you in the dark, you must bring to the light. I think I'll do another video on that line alone. But I'll give you a little quick talk about that. And I have talked about this is when you get into your spirit and you get into your center, you can start to hear the voices come from the darkness. And where is the darkness? It's the chaos. It's the unconscious, right? I speak to you in the darkness. And out of the darkness, you need to, off the housetops, shout my words. So he's saying, he's speaking to us right now. So speak that truth out to the world, and don't be afraid to speak it in fear of persecution. God needs you to be a part of this war. They can kill you, but they cannot harm your soul. God bless you all, and much love.